Do you think I'm an extrovert for being on camera? G'day crew, it's Zoe the Video Confidence Coach here, welcoming you to another video on this lovely week in mid-January. So today we're going to talk about, I forgot my actual intro, oops. Now let's just keep going. So, g'day crew, Zoe Wood, your Video Confidence Coach here, helping you with everything personal branding. And let's continue. So today I would like to discuss with you the difference between extroversion and introversion, and how there is this myth or this theory that extroverts are inherently better on being on camera or more confident to be on camera. And I'm going to tell you now that that is definitely not true, and is one of those myths that definitely need to get busted quick smart, super smart. And the reason I wanted to touch on this is because it's a lot of things that I get discussed with clients when I have one-on-ones, when I have coaching consultations, when I sit down with people. There is this inherent thought that people have, I can't do what you do because of X. I can't do what you do because of Y. I can't do what you do because of the rainbow of illogical reasons. That type of thing. And it's not a case of you or any of my clients being scaredy cats. It's just a case of you're trying something new, you're wanting to grow your personal brand, and you see the trajectory of how video is growing and being used as a tool multiple fold over. So you want to be able to use that to your advantage, which makes sense, which is why I'm here, which is why I do what I do. But it still can be scary for the uninitiated, and especially for people who aren't aware of that. It can just be like, whew, look at this huge mountain that I'm supposed to climb. So I'm here to change that for you. One thing I do want to address first though, I am not a psychologist. I dabble in the world of psychology. I eat all the information that I can about psychology, but I am not a psychologist, so I want to just preface that first off. And second of all, as humans, we like to be able to categorize things. We like to be able to label things like, animals and products and people. So I just want to state now that the term extroverts and introverts is very grey. It's not black or white, it's very grey. So when using those terms, I'm using the broad definitions of them because, as I said, we like to put them in nice, neat little boxes to be able to store away and organize and categorize people. But people aren't labels. People aren't things you can put in boxes. And neither are you. So I want to stress that before we get on to anything in today's video. So let's talk extroverts and introverts. The coined terms were first coined by Carl Jung in the 1920s. So almost about 100 years old, this type of philosophy and thought pattern has existed. Of course, there has been thoughts and categorize people have been put into ahead of time, but we've actually put a name to it with Jung's extrovert and introvert. And also ambivert that has now developed over time. Essentially, both of them relate, or three of them actually, extrovert, introvert, and ambivert, relate to the psychic energy. Now, I'm going to look at my notes for this. So an extrovert, when interacting with other people or external stimuli, so stimuli from outside of themselves, gives them that psychic energy that they need to keep going, to give them that energy just to... I know that's not very clear in the explanation, but it gives them that energy to keep going, to keep progressing. And they have a tendency of using a lot more of their short-term memory. So whenever they need to come up with an answer quickly, instead of, say, the introverts who have a tendency of thinking methodically over something to give a correct answer, a short-term memory person has a tendency of coming up with multiple options, multiple solutions, multiple answers straight away. They may not all be right. They may not... even be correct. But the idea is that you come up with it straight away and then figure out the right question from there. So come up with solutions, then pick the right one, and that's the one that you go with. And on the other hand, you have introverts, people who get their psychic energy, their energy to keep on going things and doing things from themselves, or they get their stimuli internally from stuff that they do, that they focus on, that they find enjoyment on. And then in turn, they use their knowledge from long-term memory. So they reach back into their long-term memory to think about and process everything a little bit longer, but eventually come out with a correct answer or a more in-tuned answer than, say, someone who is an extrovert who comes up with multiple short answers straight away as soon as they can, and then eventually think about it later to then present in the future. So that's just a little bit of a background of introvert and extrovert. And an ambivert is someone who is a mixture of the two, which, to tell you the truth, I think 90 to 95% of us all are. An ambivert in some way that some people, may be able to thrive at, say, family and get a lot of external stimuli from family events, but prefer to be on their own when they're in the company of strangers. That can be considered an ambivert. There's a lot of things like that, and because, surprisingly, as I said before, people are not labels, therefore you can't label them well, therefore this whole thing is very grey. So bringing this back to video, because I am the video confidence coach, it can be argued that to be on camera, to speak confidently, to stand in front of this camera and talk to a itty-bitty pinhole of a camera, to talk to you at the other side, inherently is an extrovert trait. And I wish to argue that that is not the case. Yes, introverts, or as I described before, have a tendency of taking longer to think about the answer to things because they pull back from their long-term memory. I can understand that association with the extrovertness being the in front of camera, entertaining, educating, kututututu type of people. But I'll tell you now, creating videos and the amount of content that I'm currently producing for 2021 is a very solo affair. It's very introvert, as it will. I get my energy from researching, from drafting dot point scripts to be able to then eventually present to you. Like right now, I am on my own presenting this information to you. I am getting energy from presenting this information to you because I'm by myself, which is inherently introvert trait, if we're going along with those labels and boxes. Again, people are not labels or boxes. And even though, yes, I am projecting energy out to you as the viewer, the reason I'm doing that is because it's nothing to do with being an extrovert or introvert or even an ambivert. I am trying to keep up your energy as the viewer so you keep along with me, that you absorb the information that I'm giving you to be able to use it and action it into your own branding, into your own business, into your own life even. I'm nowhere near one of those type of gurus or influencers. Maybe one day, maybe. But I want to be able to make that clear to you that I am giving you this energy. Yes, it drains me. Ugh. But I'm giving you this energy to be able to keep your interest up and keep your engagement up. So then you actually have action resulting out of watching this video, if you're feeling me on that one. And because when creating videos especially, you need to be able to process both long and short-term memory, the inherent traits of extroverts and introverts, respectively. You need to be able to use both of those to be able to draft videos, to be able to come up with concept ideas, to be able to answer people straight away, to be able to come up with dot points. And that's just in the pre-production phase. That's not even in the me presenting phase, or me in the editing phase, or even the promotional phase. We haven't even reached those bits yet, and we've used both of our types of memory, cognitive functions, practice, all of that in just the pre-production stage. In the bit where you're putting your ideas together, we've already blown the myth of extrovert and introverts out of the water. Bugger. I guess that blows the idea. How annoying. Now we're up to sponsor spot. So the sponsor of this video of the Video Confidence Coach is, drumroll please, is me. Zoe Wood, the Video Confidence Coach, is sponsoring the Video Confidence Coach. So if you are interested in the video so far, you've been able to stick with me so far, and I hope you've enjoyed it, then I recommend that you check out our other videos that we post 2 videos a week. We also post on the Do Video podcast, but that's something else to sponsor. Right now we're focusing on the channel. So make sure you check out our website, vcc.training, where you can check out all our other information and videos and tools and useful things that will be able to help you build your personal brand. Beautiful ad read. So hopefully by this point you get the idea that I'm trying to push across to you, that these inherent thoughts of extrovert, introvert, and ambivert, because you were taught probably in school, and if you weren't taught in school, you were touted by these gurus about these type of personality traits. Because again, we like to put people in boxes, and we like to be able to have these absolute facts about people and things, because that's just what we like to do. We like to be able to say, oh, you're this type of person, aren't you? And be able to string together all these type of traits that make you you. Therefore, I know what type of person you are. That's not true. That's the same with confidence. There's, many different types of confidence when it comes to, creating a video. Again, you can be confident in scripting, but not in presenting. You could be confident in your editing, but just not in your pre-production work. Whatever. And it can also result in your confidence in building your personal brand. You know what you do, you know what you love to do, and you know why you're good at it. Because you're constantly learning and evolving. Why? Because confidence is a skill. It's not a trait. It's not charisma. It's not anything on that level. It's because confidence is a skill that you learn, that you practice, and that you hone over time to be able to get to a level that is acceptable to you for the situations, for the instance that you're using it for. And then once that's done, or once that no longer becomes useful to you, you then evolve, you then upskill to be able to do something better, to be able to use that confidence and skill to be able to level up to whatever is going to help you build your brand better. Are you feeling me? And this confidence can work its way into all aspects of video production. You could be working about your scripting, about how you actually put your ideas from inside your head out onto the page. Do you like to use scripting words, as in your particular words that you are going to say right here, right now, are going to be scripted in front of you? Or are you like me, who likes to work a little bit off the cuff, who likes to just look at their notes every now and again, like I'm looking at right now, and be able to use just general dot points of the idea that I'm trying to come across, because I know my stuff. I know what I want to talk about, and of course, as I am evolving and growing, I am going to be wrong sometimes, but most of the time, hopefully I am not. I want to be able to get that information across to you in the most efficient, most charismatic, hopefully, and most entertaining and infomaniac way possible. And to do that, I need to be able to look at my notes clearly, know what point I'm making, and then move on to the next one. Say, for example, are you someone who likes to take multiple takes to be able to get a video done? Or are you someone who wants to rehearse, and be able to get everything done in one take? Personally, I know how to edit, and even though I don't like it, I have developed a skill that I can do it relatively fast. Therefore, I'm okay with doing one long take and taking the bits out that I don't like, because I can edit. You guys are hopefully okay with that. Let me know if that's not. I won't change, but at least you'll be heard. And along with that skill, you can be someone who likes a defined process when creating your videos, which may be seen as an inherently introvert skill. Someone who wants to have a process all organized and ready to go before they actually take that first step. Or someone who can be considered extrovert, or can be considered an extrovert trait, is shooting from the hip and just doing what you can and just making it work. And if it fails, it fails. Good, great. The one thing I want to preface though is that the confidence for us to fail at things, for us to not do well and just fall flat on our face, is something that we all can do, is something that we all contain in ourselves, and something that we should be practicing over time. It's something that we should be constantly doing when building our personal brands, even outside of creating video content, which is my specialty. But that confidence to keep on failing is something that is going to help bring you forward and allow you to keep building your personal brand any longer than it takes just to, set up a website or just set up these things. You need to be able to constantly be consistent, and be consistent on being allowed to fail. Confidence in failing. I have failed multiple times, and it's broken me multiple times. But my confidence to be able to understand that, okay, I am learning, I am growing, I'm building my personal brand. It is okay to fail. I understand my mistakes. I have now learnt from them. Then I can then teach to you. And also in those failings, I have also learnt. I have also evolved my learning, the way that I do things, my processes, because I have devoted that time to myself. I've devoted that time to work on my skills and my passion, to be able to grow and evolve, because I use that time on myself, on building my personal brand. Because your brand is only as strong as you are. And if you're not strong enough to be able to hold that weight, then evolve yourself. Learn those skills. Push past your fear, push past your failings, and gain that confidence to be able to hold that up. Okay, let's go. So, too long, didn't watch. Introverts versus extroverts versus ambiverts are just labels. They're not real things. Just so you keep that in your mind. Creating video encompasses a wider range of skills, more than just the type of person you are. And confidence is not a trait or a personality type. It's a skill that you need to practice consistently. I'm going to stop pointing my finger at you because that's pretty mean of me. And what's next for you? I highly recommend you check out our Do Video podcast, Done is Better Than Perfect. Our episode of the Do Video podcast, Done is Better Than Perfect, where we're talking about these inherent traits about, extrovert, ambivert, and introvert, where just the idea of having things done to be able to present to the world, no matter how much you feel like you failed, no matter how much it's not up to par, no matter how much it's not up to your level of specification, done is better than perfect. And I think it's something that could be beneficial to you. And I almost forgot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.